if anyone knows me with my rating system, even things I like and love, I'm critical of. I will see the good and bad in everything. I don't even think I should be doing this video now. I feel like I've watched the episode. 15 minutes has gone by. I've been just thinking, analyzing it over and over. I feel like I should go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, think about it for another day, and then if it still sits this good with me, then do the video. But I'm just like, this is one of these rare opportunities. I'm not saying the entire series of this show, but I'm saying this specific episode is a 10 out of 10. It's perfect in how it's handled. The writing, the world building, the interactions, the entire planning of the episode, the dialogue, everything that goes into this episode, which is on Crunchyroll, as I've watched it. It's episode 18, Orphanage Reforms, of the anime series Ascendance of a Bookworm. And Ascendance of the Bookworm, when season 1 happened, didn't get a lot of limelight. It's very hard for this series to compete when you got something like that Stone Age Senku, whatever that freaking Stone Age show is, because it's the same concept. But this series, I got into it, I fell in love with it, and it's on its season 2, and this episode just blew me friggin' away. This handles rich versus poor. It handles nobility versus the lower class. It handles strict restrictions, law, how one would interact with certain people while interacting with another. And it brings life and death into the situation, with dying, starving kids being the main focus of it. And like, I finished watching it, but at 7 minutes, I paused it. Because by then, I felt a bit sick in my stomach. When you see how these kids are treated, they're basically slaves to the church, and they really don't get jack shit. And at the time, you're just like, the church are a bunch of fucking cunts. But then you got to realize the situation of the church is just like, there's not that many blue robe nobles. The blue robe nobles that are in the show, they're taking on retainers, which are basically orphans that start wearing grey robes and they serve the blue robes. They can only take on so many servants and supply out of their own pocket, basically, what they can for their servants. You can't have the idea that the nobles can just take on unlimited amount of servants. And the situation that's interesting to the main character is, not only is she not from nobility, but she's from the lower class, is she's got the isekai thing going on because she has all the memories of her previous life, so she has all this technological shit from another world in her head that she can sell to businesses to make revenue. She has connections to lower class businesses and has her own like trade seller. It's just fascinating watching this episode play out. As the episode's playing out, ideas go into your head. Or she could make money off selling ideas, and then she ends up going to the businessman. But the one thing I want to bring up here that just like, I was just so satisfied with it is like, if I watch Ruby, the girls don't bicker over ideology. It's basically whatever Ruby does, the girls are gonna follow, and they'll do whatever's necessary, even if it's criminal, to make her dream come true. And it's seen as the right thing to do because they're the protagonist. Whereas in this sense, with our main character Main, she is optimistic and ideal, as a protagonist is, But the characters around her, her main retainer Fran, her business partner Benno, they support her, but they ground her in reality. They're like, yeah, we want you to be able to do this venture and help the kids, because kids dying is never a good thing. We want you to help them, but stop, think, and realize you can't just go into the church and be like, you're all fucking cunts, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. They tell her there's procedures, you're gonna have to be wary of people, you're gonna have to kiss ass sometimes. It's like you're in their world. It's essentially a politician having their own goals, wanting to do stuff, but once they're in the Senate, they're not able to openly just scream at people, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. They gotta play a political mind game in order to get what they want. It's it's just so well done. At no point, when I think back to anything in this episode, do I go, this is bad. This doesn't fit the plot. This doesn't work. I cannot think of one negative aspect of this episode at all. So I'm just like, it's for what it is. Not as, because the season hasn't finished yet. It's essentially probably the only like third episode or something of the season. Hang on, let me just check. Yeah, that's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's pretty much the fourth episode of the season. But as far as an episode goes, this is just 10 out of 10. As a standalone episode, there's nothing wrong with it. You can't criticize this episode. It does what it sets out to do perfectly as the world is set out. And I know this might be me being a bit ignorant or stupid in this, but it's just like this one episode, episode 18, Orphanage Reforms, the way it handles itself and the rich versus the poor, the politics, everything, it's better than the entirety of RWBY Volume 7. Now that might be unfair to say. It's like, oh, wait till the rest of Ascendance of the Bookworm Season 2 until it's finished. Will it continue this well written? But I'm like, this show is just a really good show. Like 8, 9 out of 10 for like season 1. It handles itself. Season 1 had a few problems where it's slow, but it's its first season. It's setting up its lore, its world building. It's got a lot of info dump dialogue. But season 2, the city, the cathedral, everything's reformed, and it's you diving even further into the world that you've been introduced to. It's just like, as an anime fan, I'm just being dead honest here. There are moments that just are absolutely amazing. You feel so satisfied that you watched it. And just look at it this way: if you turn around and go, oh, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in the Cell games, oh, it's perfect. It's not perfect. The fact Goku's sacrifice isn't perfect. The fact that they can bring him back with the Dragon Balls is not fucking perfect. It's not really a sacrifice if you can just come back to life 5 minutes later, is it? None of that's perfect. They're iconic moments, but they're not perfect. And I'm just like, I want to be able to shit on something in this episode, but I can't. And that feeling in me is amazing. I can't criticize this at all. I can only enjoy it. Just amazing. My only message to all of you for this 10-minute video, it's on Crunchyroll, but it's probably on something like Kiss Anime, like a free streaming site. You can probably pirate it. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Go watch it. Season 1, Season 2. You got 18 episodes to catch up on. You will not regret this. Especially if you enjoy like slice of life, creation, isekai type shit.